Have you ever heard of a fruit so sweet it's called the Buddha fruit? A fruit so powerful that just a pinch of its extract can sweeten your entire cup of tea. With 0 calories? Meet monk fruit, the little green miracle that's reshaping how we think about sugar. Today, we're diving into the story of monk fruit, where it comes from, why it's suddenly everywhere, and whether it lives up to the hype. Welcome to our deep dive into nature's sweetest gift right here on History of Simple Things. Monk fruit, also known as Luo Han Guo, has been grown for centuries in the misty mountains of southern China and northern Thailand. Nestled among steep cliffs and bamboo groves, this small round fruit has long been treasured not just for its sweetness, but for its medicinal properties. It was named after the Buddhist monks who first cultivated it around the 13th century. These monks weren't just spiritual guides, they were natural healers. They believed monk fruit could calm inflammation, soothe sore throats, and cool the body during fever. For generations, the fruit was dried and steeped in teas, not as a dessert, but as a remedy. So what makes monk fruit so sweet? The magic lies in compounds called mogrosides. Unlike table sugar, which is made of glucose and fructose, mogrosides don't affect your blood sugar levels. In fact, monk fruit extract can be up to 150 to 250 times sweeter than regular sugar, without a single calorie. Think about that for a second. A substance hundreds of times sweeter than sugar, with no energy load? That's like finding gold in your backyard, and it doesn't even spike your insulin. That's why monk fruit has become a star in the health-conscious community. If you've browsed the sweetener aisle lately, you've probably seen it next to stevia, erythritol, and other sugar alternatives. Unlike artificial sweeteners like aspartame or saccharin, monk fruit is natural. It's derived from the fruit itself, often through a process of crushing, infusing, filtering, and drying. The result? A concentrated sweet powder or liquid that doesn't have the bitter aftertaste many associate with other sugar substitutes. But monk fruit isn't just a niche health food anymore. It's showing up in soft drinks, protein bars, yogurts, sauces, and even ice cream. Major brands are hopping on the monk fruit train, marketing it as the guilt-free way to satisfy your sweet tooth. And honestly, for people with diabetes, pre-diabetes, or those on keto or low-carb diets, it's a game changer. Monk fruit sweeteners don't raise blood glucose levels. That means you can enjoy that sweet flavor without the roller coaster crash. Health professionals are cautiously optimistic too. Monk fruit hasn't shown any harmful side effects in studies. In fact, it's been classified as generally recognized as safe by the FDA since 2010. And unlike sugar alcohols like xylitol or erythritol, monk fruit doesn't cause digestive upset for most people. Still, moderation is key. Not all monk fruit sweeteners are created equal. Many brands blend monk fruit extract with fillers like dextrose or maltodextrin, which do have calories and can affect blood sugar. So if you're reaching for monk fruit, check the label. The purer the extract, the better. Let's talk a bit about the process. The fruit itself is round, green, and about the size of a lime. It's extremely perishable, so it's rarely eaten fresh. Instead, farmers dry it soon after harvest. Traditionally, the fruit is crushed and steeped in hot water, releasing the mogrosides. Then, enzymes are added to break down unwanted sugars. What remains is a super concentrated sweetener, minus the calories, minus the sugar, and minus the insulin spike. Pretty neat, right? So how does it actually taste? That depends on your palate. Most people say monk fruit has a clean, pleasant sweetness. It's less bitter than stevia, and doesn't have that metallic edge some people taste with other substitutes. That said, some folks notice a slight fruity or herbal aftertaste, especially in highly concentrated forms. It works great in beverages, and in baking, well, it's hit or miss. Monk fruit lacks the bulk and caramelizing properties of sugar, so in some recipes, it just doesn't behave the same. That's why many monk fruit sweeteners are paired with erythritol to mimic sugar structure. Isn't it funny how something used for centuries in Chinese medicine is now turning up in your smoothie? It's a reminder that the solutions to modern problems like obesity, diabetes, and sugar addiction aren't always high-tech. Sometimes they're tucked away in a quiet mountain village, growing on a vine, waiting to be rediscovered. Still, monk fruit isn't perfect. It's more expensive than sugar, and the supply chain is tightly controlled. Most monk fruit is still grown in China, and the yield is small compared to crops like corn or sugarcane. That means we're unlikely to see monk fruit replace sugar entirely, but it can play a powerful supporting role in the way we sweeten our lives, especially if you're trying to cut back without giving up flavor. And while we're at it, let's bust a myth. Monk fruit isn't magic. Swapping sugar for monk fruit won't make a donut healthy, but it can help you make smarter swaps, lighten your sugar load, and still enjoy a treat now and then. In a world flooded with artificial options and ultra-processed everything, monk fruit stands out as a quiet alternative. No buzzwords, no hidden ingredients, just a small, humble fruit with an incredible secret. So the next time you stir something into your coffee, ask yourself, what am I really tasting? Sweetness? Or something deeper, like centuries of tradition, the wisdom of monks and the power of plants? Monk fruit may not change the world overnight, but in a world battling the consequences of sugar addiction, it's a sweet step in the right direction. It's a reminder that sometimes nature already holds the answers we've been searching for, uncomplicated, time-tested, and deeply nourishing. And when we choose better, even in small ways, those choices ripple outward. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.